Good evening, viewers. Once again, this is True Talk. Today we have a very special guest, a lawyer by profession, and somebody who has got a background in international relations and has participated in Kenyan politics for quite a while. Our discussions today will focus on the elections, how the elections are conducted to where we are at the moment. Without any further ado, let me introduce you to my guests tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.
You have seen the recent development of politics in our country. First, we went through an election, and the loser apparently is contesting the results of the elections. Finally, I think the international community came in, weighed into the Kenyan situation, and there's a media leader called a truce. So right now, going into Easter, we didn't have any demonstrations which were planned on Monday and Thursday of each and every week. What do you think about the development?
I think it is quite unfortunate that we find ourselves in such a situation. This is something that we should not do because we should not find ourselves in or in the future because we should learn to use the ballot box in making decisions in matters of governance and principles of good governance. So, this far, if we allow in every after election cycle that those who lose then have an avenue that they have to go to the streets and demand through proxy to get back to the government, it kind of shows about or creates a bad precedence in terms of the level of our democracy.
Thank you very much, Mise, for that analysis. In the last 5 elections that we have gone through, the Azimio leader, one Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, has been consequently losing this election and contesting them. What is the problem? What is the genesis of our electoral injustice?
I think the genesis of our electoral injustice is that everyone who has been uh, an interested party to the uh, executive, to the one arm of the government, which is the executive, has always hoped to use the Independent and Electoral Boundaries Commission as an avenue or a gateway to ascend to power. And that's why no one has ever paid attention or close attention to streamline and put stringent measures to ensure that when there is a body such as IBC that can either make or break our country, there must be proper oversight over this commission to ensure that its operations are accountable and verifiable. But unfortunately, Raila Amolo Odinga, who is the other contender and a serious contender in this case, has also been hoping that one day he would use IBC to elevate himself to the presidency. Unfortunately, time and again, he has not it has not worked to his favor, and that is why he complains. I mean, you cannot do things same way expecting different results. Every time he has agitated for some change, there has been significant improvement. If you look at the Election Act of 2012, there was some changes. Election Act of 2016, there was equally changes that actually even put a safeguard of an agent in every party agent in every polling station to ensure that the elections are credible or credibly conducted and returned or transmitted to ensure that there is no one who has been unfairly misrepresented or presented.
Raila has really fought very, very hard to have reforms, and you have already even acknowledged that some of the issues that he has raised before have really transformed IBC. Why do you think now that he is raising the issues of the server as a as something that could have led to his consequent loss in the just concluded elections? I want you to dig into this issue of the server and the portal. You know, in just after 2007, there were laws that were passed. One of his demands is to change IBC. You have mentioned in your speech that Raila Amolo Odinga also wants to benefit from the irregularities in IBC by so appointing commissioners of his choice, or being allowed to participate in the appointment of the people who are going to be in charge of IBC. Mise, as you may as well know that the interviews are already out. I think there is an independent body that is overseeing the recruitment of the chairman and the commissioners as we are speaking. So the commissioners whose terms are ending are going to be replaced. The ones that resigned, the Cherera 4, will definitely be replaced. The Azimio leader and his supporters saying that they want the 4 commissioners reinstated back to their positions. What is your take on this issue?
I think, like I said, the Azmio have not been very honest in this. Their quest or their interest in this is not for the best of the country, but for self gain. They just want to use this as an excuse so that they can get themselves into power or get some sort of a piece of the cake in William Samoei's Ruto government. Now, you cannot ask the government to reinstate someone who has resigned. You know, the word reinstate means you were let go, right? And now you have to be returned or given the opportunity to come back. That is the meaning, the definition of reinstating someone. If someone has resigned, their job, what happens? They don't get reinstated. They reapply if there is an opening. And that is subject to consideration that they will qualify at the time among other people who will have submitted application in terms of competence. So the Cherera, first of all, the Azimio people have confirmed publicly and within the media that they also had hoped that they were going to use the Cherera or as part of the commissions who are going to help Raila gain the victory, either by forcing the election to go back to a rerun, or alternatively declare or influence the elections to the favor of the Azimio leader. And so this means they have gone against, they are in violation of the IBC Code of Conduct and IBC policies, and not only IBC policies, but as well as the electoral laws of the Republic of Kenya, by working against what they swore oath to protect and defend. So the issue of reconstituting IBC, matter of fact, is a very dicey. You mentioned that there are people who have been interviewed, and I can tell you that William Ruto is a very smart politician. William Ruto was very key and categorical, and he said clearly that the reconstitution of IBC panel is for the future and not now, for the future. Probably the future could mean 2020 after 2027, all right? Or it could mean 2032. So when William Ruto will not be interested with, or the constitution will not allow him to run again for the same office. So after that, even Raila might not be interested to run for the same office. So will it work to their best interest? Maybe the answer is no.
We saw there was a commission that was established to look into the contracts, to the conduct of the previous commissioners who served under IBC, or rather to look into what really happened in the 2022 general elections. Now, the commissioners had a very important role to ensure or to inform Kenyans what really happened in the last elections. They were given an opportunity to go to parliament and tell their side of story. Why did they simply resign and did not face the parliamentarians who were both from UDA and Azimio, so that they could tell us where there was a problem? Instead, they opted out of that inquiry committee.
You see, the resigning, you see, you see, this is a game of who is who. The whole idea is, I think they came to realization that it is not happening. The people who put them there is not happening. They realized they were being used. It was getting hot. They were getting depressed. They were getting probably threats here and there, not only from maybe the government, but equally it could be from the supporters. Remember, the Chereras live within neighborhoods where they are known, where they are supporters of William Samoei Ruto, and they are supporters of Raila Amolo Odinga. So at times, you realize that your life is more important than even a job. You can, when you have qualifications, you can always apply for a job somewhere else, as long as you have a peace of mind. So there comes a time when you make a mistake. They were betrayers of our country. They need and they deserve to be in jail if indeed they conspired with the people who, with the intention of manipulating the elections. And so this is a kind of conduct that we do not expect in civil servants, as well as people who have been appointed to the commissions that is actually funded by the government.
Yeah, I also felt that they had a responsibility, being that they are paid by taxpayers. They had a responsibility to inform the general public of what really happened or transpired at IBC. So far, we only saw one of the commissioners testifying, and eventually I think she was sacked or something like that. I don't know what really happened after she testified. And with that said, these commissioners are sitting somewhere pretty with with a lot of information that could be out there to unlock what the Azimio leader really wants, or the general public is kept guessing.
I think the Azimio leader has information. So that is why you've heard him again and again saying this election was manipulated. You've heard Babu Wino saying that they bet their lives, their resources. They had their own people within the IBC commission who were sharing confidential or classified information with the Azimio. We've not had the same confession or admission of such violation from the Kenya Kwanza government. They have not said that they had anyone, they had any vested interests within the IBC. They did not say that they invested their resources within some commissioners in the IBC. They have not said that they bet their life for the with the commissioners in IBC. So truly, it means that these people, the commissioners, their position, their place is jail. They need to be in jail. They need to be taken to court. And IBC has a right. Your employer has a right. When you sign the letter of employment, an offer, there is a section that actually binds you not to disclose information outside that organization or your employer.
I think it's called the code of conduct.
Code of conduct, and there is non-disclosure agreement that are part of it that you have, or confidentiality, as it is called in Kenya. So basically, these people were giving this information to the Azimio. That means there was conflict of interest. And so this conflict of interest comes from the people who swore to be royalty, to have royalty to their country and not to individuals who are manipulating them. And I can tell you, Mzalendo, you cannot have the audacity, the confidence like that, the one that you saw in the Cherelas, is because they knew they had some people behind who are actually not just anybody like you, but people who are of good influence. And that is why they were able to even come out to the public and speak as they were speaking. Anyone, I'll tell you, remember Githongo, John
Githongo, the former chair of EACC.
Yes. What did he do? Did he disclose this information within the country?
No, he actually took off. He took off
and disclosed it outside the country where he knew his life was safe. How come the Chereras were ready to even disclose some information and disagree publicly with the chair, Wafula Chebukati, who is actually a making of Raila Amolo Odinga, because Wafula Chebukati was in ODM, okay?
Yeah.
And remember, it is Raila Amolo Odinga who campaigned and seconded Wafula Chebukati when he was vying from Sabot area. So these people, and I give you an example, when Rosalind Akombe had classified information, what did she do? She left the country and spoke from New York, from somewhere else. How come these people are not understanding the challenge that we have, the insecurity that is in Kenya? What is this that gave them a lot of confidence that they were able to stay and be whistleblowers when just a mere NHIF person, manager, who appeared to be a whistleblower, was just shot? You know, you need to look at, there is something that we are being we are not being told. There's something as Mio know that we don't know, and they're not willing to tell us, but we can hear it through echoes or proxies from Babu Wino. So that is something that I want us to emphasize. And besides, I would like us, I know you mentioned of the server, I would like us to go back and reflect and discuss on issues such as how does the server function,